Hello, everyone. My name is Nizar. I am a light, exactly like you. And what I do is that I try. This might be not enough for you, but I try so hard and I try so various things that it took me from a place where I was literally unable to pay my rent to create the first NFT fund ever and to speak all over the world about my passion, which is the future. You can see it here.
Well, we love the future at the NFT NYC event and certainly the community. Hello, community. We'll see you April 3rd through the 5th in Times Square at the Javits Center. And I'm excited to share this conversation. You're one of our favorite people, my friend. 2021 was a big year for you. I mean, a couple of things that stand out. You just mentioned you raised the first fund, right? $2.7 million.
Yeah.
You were able to present this opportunity for people to pool their money together so that you could build out a wallet, a treasury of sorts, a fund of NFTs. Also, it was the first time that you came and joined us at NFT NYC.
Yeah.
Jody Rich, our organizer, and Gary Vaynerchuk, who is kind of the introduction for you for NFTs. Maybe we'll talk about that in a moment. They shared the very first keynote, right, to get the fireside chat at the town hall. And of course, we were so happy to have you start speaking at our event in 2022 in June. I remember introducing you and having you
Yeah.
hit the stage, and it's been an honor for us to have you participate in the community. Can you share a bit about the beginning of things? 2021, what was a thing or the thing or some of the things
Um,
Gary said
you,
that maybe kind of attracted you, and then how did things snowball from there?
yeah, I think the best way to talk about it is to talk about COVID. Uh, it's a word that nobody wants to talk about today. Everyone is doing like if it didn't have any impact on us, but everyone is feeling that something has changed in the world. And at that time, I felt that something was wrong, at least in my own behavior, in my own life. So I wanted something that was linked to my passion, which was images. I collect images since I'm young. I take pictures and I love that. One of my friends was like, you got to take a look at NFTs. These things are made for you. So I started looking at it, but I was like, maybe that's just a scam. What are those punks? It didn't resonate that much to me at that time. And then Gary Vaynerchuk started talking about it. He said, I'm going to bring utility to that. And that rang the bell to me. I'm a marketer and I have been following Gary for years. And I love the way he's looking at things. It gives another point of view to any of us to create. So from that moment, I started looking at it. And he said something amazing that he says to everyone, do your 50 years of homework. If you want to be relevant in that industry. So I started digging, I started working, and I started interacting with the blockchain, especially with NFTs. I knew blockchain because I had some cryptocurrency back in 2017 that I held, but not that much. And then I had to test something. So I went on OpenSea, and at that time, we're the 1st May 2021, and I'm looking at NFTs and I look at those Bored Apes and it just resonates with me. They have this empathetic kind of thing that remind me pictures that I had when I was young. So I was like, I'm gonna go to their website and look at it. And the website says at that moment, and they were still minting, the website says the first thing we do when we succeed the mint, we reimburse our mothers. And this is the 1st of May. This is the birthday of my mother. I click on it, and the first NFT ever, and this is written on the blockchain, is a Bored Ape. I bought a Bored Ape for 0.17 ETH, which the mint was still there, but I chose the one I wanted. And the second NFT I minted, which was the first mint actually, was a perfect Persian cat from VFriends. And
Wow.
from there, my life changed.
And did you mention that you did the second mint with your son?
Yeah, I done. He was the only person who didn't think I was crazy. My wife was going all around. We're broke. He's buying pictures. I think he lost it. And I explained to my son what it was. And because we were in this frenzy of community, of building something new together, talking about the future. And when it came to minting VFriends, I had to choose. You had to choose the one that you were trying to mint, and it was a Dutch auction. So you were not sure to get it. And he said, that cat looks good. And we clicked together and we got that perfect Persian cat. The beautiful thing about this story is that I went to NFT NYC. I've seen Rodi and Gary. Gary signed my hoodie, which was a pigeon hoodie. He signed it, and I met him at Bright Moments Gallery, and we had this video that went viral
Right.
where I'm just like thanking him. I don't know, I didn't know that people were filming me at that moment. It was seeing like more than 10 million views, and I was just thanking him. I
Yeah.
said, because of you, my life is changing.
Yes. So we fast forward 2.5, 3 years. Here we are today. Tell me about some of the, maybe you could share both sides, right? What's been some difficult things that you've encountered over the 2.5, 3 year journey? And what's been some things that have totally exceeded your expectations? Like I never could have imagined this amazing outcome. I just love to hear some of the highlights, both the struggles and the victories, please.
Well, um, I'm from Marrakesh, Morocco, North Africa. I was the first African to talk about NFTs. Um, at that time, it didn't resonate to anyone. Uh, the biggest victory to me was to get rid of the imposter syndrome that you can have when you start something new. I think our generation has something special. After 3 years, we might get bored about what we're doing and we want to try something new. And we feel guilty because our parents used to have like a 50 years the same job. So we feel very bad about it. And when you start something, you go with your gut feeling, with your instinct, but you still have this imposter syndrome. And NFTs, because it was new to everybody, it felt like we were all on the same rank. So the victory was for me to get rid of that imposter syndrome. Um, I went through a roller coaster. I went from biking in Marrakesh, Morocco, to being invited by the Los Angeles Lakers, talking to Tom Harris, the president, uh, talking with the players, being invited in private events there, making friends with Kip Grossman from Time Magazine, now in MoonPay. He's one of my very cool friends. Uh, Meeting people that are talking about how we can create a better future. And in between, um, or you have like the crash, what happened with Luna and then FTX was a trauma for
Right.
all of us. When you go so hard, so fast, everyone is expecting you to go so down so fast. And sometimes you don't see it happening because you think you have all the keys. But what happens eventually is always something you didn't expect to happen. And then you have to recover from that. I went through a slow depression of 1 year and a half that nobody could see around me, because I'm well surrounded. I'm grateful to have two wonderful kids, a wife that doesn't care about all of this, none of the fame, the talks or whatever. She's just like the light that I am. Um, so it was a slow depression because I had to understand what happened. Uh,
Mm.
how come you can come from a place where you think you protected everyone around you, that you're creating something amazing, that you're going to be able to help others, to a place where you have to start from scratch? But the thing is that, and there is a phrase that changed my life, which says, sometimes when it's super dark outside, you think you've been buried, but you've been planted.
Mm.
And it's exactly what happened to me. I feel grounded, I feel planted, and the energy that I take are from the roots of doing good and doing it the right way. Not going super fast, raising money, buying things and making money. And that is, in my opinion, something that you can do when you know what you're doing, not when you're trying. So yeah, that was like, let's say, the best, and not the worst, but the learning. It's never
Right.
worse. It's just always learning.
Yeah, always learning. I often, I think it's very, very hard to be a human personally. I think this is a tough, tough journey.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why it's so hard to be a human is because we have the body of a beast and the mind of God, right? So we have these very competing things. One is just, I just want to eat and sleep and breed
Survive.
and win.
Survive.
And the other side is I want to love and be loved and create and do something of legacy, right? You have these very competing sides. I think it is very difficult in the NFT environment because the market never turns off, right? In the stock market, you have Monday through Friday, you have set hours, you trade, then it turns off, you got to wait for the next day. Here, you can have a coin 100x or go down 99%, or a token collection 100x or go down 99% overnight while you're sleeping. So it definitely impacts the ability for people to remain stable and peaceful and joyful through your journey. What are some of the tools that you've learned in order to maintain a disposition, not just outwardly that people see, but more importantly, inwardly, that allows you to hold on to a sense of peace and of purpose and things of that nature?
Well, it all comes at the end of the day of what you believe in. What are your core beliefs? I'd say we have a common belief, which is that we need to survive, that outside is scarce, that outside is dangerous, that you can lose it all. And once again, COVID amplified this feeling. Everyone is feeling insecure. So what you need is reconsider what you believe in and understand that there is no scarcity. There is abundance in this world for those who go with a pure intention and put their attention into doing the things that they think are right.
Yeah.
And then the market can go upside down, sideways, turn around itself, just crawl or whatever. There is still abundance for you if you do it this way. Like if you just like people who bought Bitcoin at $5, it would go up, down, sideways, whatever you think. But today it's still worth $50,000. So those who had the belief and had the attention and didn't look at the ups and downs because they had a healthy life, didn't suffer from all this. And they're very few, very few, because they were convinced of what they're doing with a lot of pure feeling. So if you do something with your heart, you don't have to look at the market. You just have to wait, and your chance is going to come to you.
No, that's good. How about the difference between participating in communities and creating communities? There's a big difference. So one side, the community's been created, you jump in, you participate, you might even become part of the council, right? And the other one is you start the community yourself, right? You are the originator of it. Talk with me a bit about the different rhythms of being the entrepreneurial creator of this gathering of people and ideas, or even a business, compared to participating in one.
I actually had the amazing chance in life to being able to change job every 3 years and do a lot of different things. And I started working in a nightclub. I was speaking 4 languages. I had 3 masters in marketing, and I worked in a nightclub. Everyone thought I was crazy, and I was actually building my taste and my understanding of people and how to build PR and community around me. So I had this very early. But with NFTs, I had the chance to not only be inside a community, because I started with Bored Apes, then Punks, which in my opinion, both communities are great because they are filled with people who have a vision and a will to do something. Whether it's good or not, at least they're trying. So I was inside, and when you're inside of the community, it's pretty cool because you have to find your voice so that people listen to you, so that people can share with you things, and then you have to create a voice. That's what you have to do when you are inside a community. When you build community, which happened to me with ArtsDAO, as you know, in Dubai, I'm one of the Jedi members of ArtsDAO, which is the biggest community in the Middle East. We started by building the community. And at that moment, you have a responsibility of education. You need to educate people in what you're doing, and you need full transparency. And blockchain is amazing for that, because this is the right tool to build communities. It gives you the possibility to do that. And once you build one community, you realize that you want to build more communities. Now I'm building with Banana Corp, Banana Conference, the Banana Dog Kiri. We're building a new type of community with another type of let's say taste, which is the Nordic and Eastern Europe type. And I'd say it would be responsibility and education. That's what you have when you build.
Yeah. How about different regions? When you look at, like, for instance, ArtStyle, I'm a part of ArtStyle. I really, really like the leadership team at ArtStyle. I really like the model a lot. So that's one in the Middle East, but you're part of communities all over the world. And many of the communities aren't regional, right? They aren't like a American or a California community. They've gone beyond that. But for the communities that you're a part of and the collections that you participate with that clearly have distinct essence based on their region, based on their culture, can you give me an idea about the things that you've learned? I mean, you obviously speak a lot of languages, you're highly educated with 3 master's degrees. What are some of the things that you've learned about how different cultures and regions and people groups are interacting both with our technology, the NFTs, as well as the community aspect?
Well, if eventually we're all human beings, and it's very difficult, as a friend of mine, Jan, said a few minutes ago. So when you wanna be a part of something that is bigger than you, and you want to leave something when you go, you have to look at people as light. You don't have to look at people as people, because when you do so, you create distinction. Oh, she's Asian, she might be like that. He is Nordic, he might be like that. My partner, one of my partners, Sander Gansen, he's Estonian. I can tell you, he's nothing like any kind of Estonian you can imagine. He could be like Moroccan, like literally, like he's warm, he's like that. So if you build by looking at people from where they are and how their culture is, you will end up building the same world we've built so far, which is based on what we know. If you want to build a future, you need to build based on what you don't know.
Yeah.
And the only way to do it is to consider everyone as a light and treat everyone the same way. Once again, the blockchain give us the tools to consider people the same way, as long as you do it the right way.
When we opened our conversation beforehand, I said, I usually say, hello, NFT community, what's up? April 3rd to the 5th, see you there. Yeehaw, got a friend here. And I said, hey, this time I want to try something different. I just want you to introduce yourself the moment that we get started. And I'm glad I did. What you started off with is you said, I am a light, and so are you. So as we wrap our conversation for today, can you talk with me a bit about identity? What is the importance of a person knowing who they are, what they're about, what they represent? In your case, you are a light. In your case, you are an encourager and a speaker of life, saying also you are a light, whoever's listening. So can you talk with me a bit about identity and the way that has impacted the way that you live and operate in the space?
Identity for me started very early. My beloved grandfather, who was gone right after the crash, so I had to go through a lifetime of processing, getting from a very wealthy place to a very normal place, to a very lovely place, to a very unknown place. We are 8 in my family, so my dad had to label us. The parents, they do that. They label you. You're the funny guy. You're the creative. You're the guy who's gonna succeed. You might be the loser. So my dad was an amazing person, labeled us with beautiful labels. But still, at some point when you reach, I think, 30, in our cases, the 40th crisis happens at 30. So any of you listening right now who feels weird in his own soul, you just got to know that you're going through, and you're in your 30s, you're going through the 40s crisis just earlier. Everything happens earlier. Same with the crash. It happened earlier than during the 95 crash, etc. Everything goes faster. So when you're in your 30s, you want to know who you are by yourself. So you want to find out who you are. And you want to unlabel yourself. You want to say, this is not my name because I didn't choose it. This is not my religion because I didn't choose it. This is not my country because I didn't choose it. I want to have choice. And slowly, when you go through, people will help you. Enlightened people, if you look for them, they will help you to understand that you are in this body, you're in this lifetime with this own light because you chose it. You chose it somewhere. you chose, and it gives you a sense of responsibility. And then you start to fall in love with your label, which was given by people who saw you as a light. Because your parents, they don't see you as Moroccan Muslim boy or girl. They see you as pure love. So if they label you with something, it's because they see this in you, because this is, you outshine. But you have to go through a process where you have to think that you have to reconsider that into a place where you fall in love with who you are. And once you're in that place, everything becomes super easy because you're not fighting anymore. You're just like going with the flow, accepting anything that comes to you.
Yeah. I think that's the right place to end our conversation. Those that are listening, you might want to go in reverse 2 minutes, listen to that again, meditate on it, think about the importance of identity. My
The
friend,
shirt says
that's right.
freedom fighter. Okay. Future freedom fighter. So it might say it is all. This is a
Well,
two-pack.
everybody watching, be a future freedom fighter. That's the invitation.
Yeah. Love you, Jan. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in NFT NYC. This is the most amazing event because you said something very special to everyone. You said, we're talking about NFTs. We don't care about the noise. We don't care about any kind of crash. We are an NFT event. And you didn't turn your vest, your jacket. You didn't turn it. And this is something that anyone who's building need to look at and say, this is something special that we can witness. And that is why NFT NYC remains to me the most amazing event on the planet.
Well, it's that way because there's a certain decentralized nature to it where we are empowering you, myself, our peers, our friends to make the event our own and make the most of it, both on the stage and in the community. And, at one point we had over 500 satellite events. I'd love to see that continue, is every single community and pocket and network bringing themselves to New York, leveraging our event one way or another to be able to bond and connect with those that they're building with.
Yeah, I'm going to have an event in New York City, 90 Bananas. It's going to be an event where we gather people around 90s music.
You got to send me an invite. I want to come hang out.
Yeah, we did that in Paris, going to do it in New York City. Love you, man. Take great care of you.